Look at my Star Trek toys!
What's up, and welcome back, folks. I'm Keith, this is Mike, and what we do on a little show here is we talk about Star Trek toys, specifically Playmates 1990s series. But if you're watching this, you're probably excited to know more about Playmates 2022 line, which they just announced yesterday. Mike, we were not expecting to be recording another video less than 24 hours after the launch.
We weren't expecting it, Keith, but I'm glad we're doing it because it means two things. It means, one, that our press credentials have some clout, which is going to help us help y'all watching. And
That's
number
right.
two, it means that somebody on that Playmates team is answering questions and they are making sure that the proper information is getting out there. And it also means that you guys get your questions answered and we can help be a conduit to that. So let's do this
is
thing.
true. So I sent a flurry of questions out to Playmates press team yesterday, and they got right back to me. So I have a bunch of questions that I had, and I bet you probably had them too. So without any further ado, let's 60 minutes this and get some of our questions answered. Okay, so my first question to Playmates. Can you clarify the scale of the figures? They're listed as 5 inches, but the original line was roughly 4.5 inches. Are these designed to match the original line, or are they slightly larger? I saw so much analysis online, it was like the Zapruder film. So I'm excited to have an answer for you. Let's see what Playmates had to say.
Keith, the new figures will be 5 inches. They will be the most realistic yet, while still keeping them in the scale that fans are familiar with. We're sure that these figures will fit perfectly with all of our products from the 1990s.
So I take that to mean, and I have clarified, and if I get more information, I ask for more clarification, but if I get more information on that, I take that to mean that they are intending these to be the same scale as the 90s line, and that the difference between the 4.5 inches or 5 inches is more of semantics than it is an actual difference in the scale of the figures. I think probably internally they think of our traditional ones as 5 inches and the other ones as 6 inches, when really they're all a little bit of different size. So my guess, and it seems pretty clear with what they're saying here, that the new figures will be the same scale as the ones on our bookshelves. If we hear anything different, we will let you know right away.
I'm going to say, I'm reading this PR press release here, and I'm not as confident as you. They go out of their way to say they'll perfectly fit in with our products, but they don't say they are the same scale. They double down on 5 inches here. So unfortunately, I still think it's a little vague, but that's all we can say.
I have asked
currently.
for clarification. If it comes in while we're recording, I will read it live on the air because I have the email up right here. All right, so let us move into the next few questions, which we do have pretty definitively. And question number 2 is, do you have information on the production run? How many of each will be produced? All right, so here's what Playmates had to say about that.
Although we cannot share how many figures will ultimately be produced at this time, production will not be limited to a certain number as they were in the 90s. So that does help alleviate that big pain point that you talked about on the show quite a bit.
That's right. So they are not going to be putting these out limited edition. There's not going to be any 1701s in this line. They're just going to be out there. So that brings us to our next obvious question, and that is, will they be individually numbered like the 90s lines? And Playmate says,
absolutely not. Figures will not be individually numbered.
Okay, and so there's some pros and cons there. One, we're all gonna be able to get one, so that's good news. I think it's really up for debate among fans, the value of the figures being individually numbered. Certainly, I think there's value in knowing that they're a limited run for some of the super collectible ones. Like I know there's only 5,000 of these, or I know there's only 10,000 of these, so it has more value to me. Whether or not the figure is number 7,246 or 7,247, I don't know if that really matters. Maybe the idea was to sort of stop counterfeiting, but I don't know how many who's going to counterfeit these. So I totally understand that decision. Guys, if you have feelings, drop it down below. I'll be happy to express that over to the bigwigs. But I feel like that's a very straightforward answer. Appreciate straightforward answer. Our next one is another straightforward answer, and that is, what are these figures going to retail for? And here it is. We were asking that question. Boom. Answers directly from Playmates.
All right, so we thought they'd come in right around $13, and it looks like figures will be right at that $13 price point, but of course we're going to say $12.99. The phaser, and it looks like that will probably disseminate through all of the different weapon line, but we can't say for certainly, but it sounds like it would do so. They'll be around $25, $24.99, and of course those ship models starting with the Enterprise Original is $39.99.
Yeah, and that, honestly, considering inflation and what they were, I feel like that's pretty well in keeping with what they were, what they cost back in the day. So, would I love it if they were $4 a piece? Yeah, duh, of course. But I feel like that's pretty reasonable. And I really appreciate a straight answer on that. So, there it is. So when you see them in the stores and online in July, online and in the fall in your stores, this is what you're going to have to shell out to get these new figures. Let's go to our next question. And that is question number 5. Are the products shown in the announcement today, meaning yesterday, the extent of Series 1, or are they coming as part of this first line? Playmates said...
This was my question. This was my big question. I think a lot of people shared that. Keith, it was interesting, before we get to the answer, just to tease it out a little bit longer. Some of the comments we saw in our original video, it was interesting to me how they were sort of split. You were pretty psyched about what you saw, and some other people were a little bit more disappointed, just in sort of the limited breadth of what was being released. So hopefully we can see if this will alleviate some of that pain. This is our first wave of figures in the traditional Star Trek universe. We are planning our next waves, although we cannot share what those next waves will be. We're sure the fans will be excited for what we announce later this year.
Yeah, so this is wave 1. Wave 2 is coming. And, to all the folks out there who are wanting to fill in the obscure holes in the line, I get it. I want that too. I mean, give me a Martok. I don't need another Data. I want a Martok. However, this is it's a business. It's a financial enterprise, no pun intended. And they need their first line of figures to sell well in order to do a second line of figures. If they gave us our Martoks and our Founders and whatever in this line, there wouldn't be a second line because they need to build up an audience and they need to build up a line. So, of course, they're going to pick the top 10 selling things that they can think of because they've got to get the ball rolling. You got to prime the pump. And so I completely get it. Mike?
I will say, we both write press releases as part of our jobs. So I
read them. You write them. Yes.
Well, yes. Yeah, it's a completely different universe I write them for, but still, one of the arts is leaving yourself room, right? And I do see themselves leaving themselves room with saying this is their first wave in the traditional Star Trek universe. So all those people pulling for Prodigy and for maybe some figures in the kind of extended universe they're creating, that window seems to me to still be a little bit open. So
that is an interesting point. Could they be referring to a wave 1 of the expanded universe? Good question. I don't know. I took it to mean this is what we're going to get this year, and let's find out what happens next year. But you could be right. And frankly, we're not going to know until they're in our stores. Mm-hmm. So, but I appreciate that it does seem like this is this type of thing, this is what we're going to get this year, and then we're going to move on to next year. So I get it. It's, and frankly, if you look back in the 90s, the 92 Series 1 was only this, it was like 10 or 12 figures. all told. So it's roughly in keeping that. The problem is that the scale of it, they're referencing many different lines. So they have Discovery in the original series and Next Gen, as opposed to it was just the Next Gen main cast there. All right, so let's go to our next and final question, and that is question number 6. Varner Studios is once again sculpting the figures for us, which we discovered after our video yesterday, both confirmed by Varner Studios and some of you below who have given us that great information, which I'm really excited about. Like, Varner Studios, they're the legends, they're the OGs, keep it coming. Varner Studios is doing the design sculpts for the figures, right? Can you tell us who is doing the design for the ships and props? Cool. And they said,
Varner Studios once again sculpting the figures. Designs of the ship and phaser are a collaboration between Viacom CBS and our own internal design teams.
So Playmates is doing the props and ships internally, as opposed to outsourcing the design of the figures to Varner Studios, which makes perfect sense. And of course, Viacom CBS is going to have a say in it because they own the IP. So that is fairly straightforward. Well, folks, this is what we have so far. By all means, drop a comment below or email us at lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com any other questions you might have. And I promise to continue to annoy their poor press team, who have been very nice and responsive, and I appreciate everything they're doing for sure. But let us know. I mean, I know that they're excited that there's so much buzz about this. This is
totally.
I was talking to my wife before we dropped on the video that I actually feel like I have breaking news today. And even though it's a micro genre of a micro genre, I'm really pumped. I'm really fascinated, and I know you are too.
Yeah, let us know what you think of our analysis too. I mean, reading press releases can be it seems pretty specific on some of them, but where there's some wiggle room, what does it read like to you? What are you seeing? Keep the dialogue coming. We will pass along any more information we get as we get it. I'm super psyched. Feels like I'm back into this toy universe, and guess what, Keith? I might pick these new ones up. I think I might jump in.
I think you're gonna need to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's certainly, when we started this show, we were expecting to be talking about an antiquity. A thing in the past. And between starting the show and now, all of a sudden, we're right here. We're in the present. It's real time. We didn't expect there to be breaking news about a 1992 toy line, but here we are. We're excited to be talking about it. We will be back with regular episodes coming up next week. We'll let you know if anything else comes in. Drop in your comments, questions. Do us a favor, like and subscribe if you're just coming here for the first time. Check out our other videos. We've gone into in-depth reviews of almost the entire line already. We still have some more holes to get to, but we are excited to talk to you. Till then, this has been
Look at my Star Trek toys!
Thank you for watching KME Entertainment. If you enjoyed our particular brand of nonsense, please like and subscribe.